Hello and welcome. My name is Peace Mitchell and I'm co-founder of Women Changing the World Press. Before we begin, I would like to pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land that I live and work on, the people of Mamu country in North Queensland. And I'd also like to pay my respects to the traditional owners and elders, past and present, right across Australia and the Torres Strait. Well, today I am so excited to be launching our new book, Purpose and Passion. And I have a special guest co-author with me, Lauren Micale. Please join me, Lauren.
Hey, Peace.
Hi, how are you, Lauren?
I'm really well. And yourself?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. So, Lauren, for people who haven't met you before, I would love you to introduce yourself, tell us a bit about you and the work that you do.
Okay, cool. I'm Lauren. I am the founder of Bayside Admin and Bookkeeping. It's our 10th birthday this year. We help small and medium businesses with their bookkeeping, admin, BAS, all those fun things behind the scenes that no one ever gets time to do. We love doing those. So, that's how we help.
Amazing, amazing. Now, I love your chapter. Your title is How to Network, Collaborate, and Build a Relationship-Based Business as an Authentic Introvert. Can you tell us why you chose that chapter title?
Yeah, sure. So I am an introvert, the biggest introvert I think you'll ever meet. So even sitting here talking to you now, my heart is racing. There's no one even around. But I knew that when I started my business back in 2014, that the only way I was going to get out there and meet people was to network. And, you know, it still scares me now even thinking about it. I can still vividly remember the first time I walked into my first networking meeting and how it felt. So I thought it was very fitting that 10 years on, and I'm still networking, as terrified as I always am, that it might be good to share some of the tips that I found useful to get me to this point.
It's so powerful, Lauren, because I know that there's lots of other people out there who are also introverts and who are also terrified of networking and speaking on stage and all of those kind of things. And by you sharing your story, you're really showing them that actually it's okay. You can do this. And I love that you've also shared some really helpful tips throughout your chapter of how to do it. And one of the things you talk about is the importance of just really being present and building that relationship one person at a time. You don't have to go into the networking room and race around the room and give everybody your business card. It's actually more powerful just to speak with one person and hear their story. Can you tell us a bit more about your advice on this?
So the one thing I found was you stand at the front of the room and you walk in and there's 50,000 people and half of them have a card and you're like, oh my gosh, where do I go first? So my tip, and what I've actually always done, is I will look around the room, usually the outskirts because that's where I'm most comfortable, and find someone with a friendly face. And I'll go up and say, hi, how are you? Traditionally, I will ask them a bit more about themselves first because that's easier for me. But we end up getting into a conversation and it becomes a bit easier after that because it's one person. But if I had to do that with 5 people, that just seems too big in my head. But the one-on-one, I can build a really lovely relationship with someone, get to know them better.
Yes, I love that. It takes all the pressure off as well. It's just one person you're talking with. And do you have some go-to questions to get them talking?
I, being a mum myself of 2 girls, I'll usually ask them what they do, what their business is, do they have kids? If we're like at a local networking meeting, I'll always ask them if they're from around here. Just very, very basic. I avoid the weather at all costs. If we end up talking about the weather, I know it's hard, but I just try to find out literally about them and what they like and things like that, and then it builds into a natural conversation.
Yeah, amazing. Now, you talk about in your chapter, which I found really interesting, is the assumptions that people make about introverts. Can you tell us a bit about some of these assumptions?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm an introvert and I will always stay on the outskirts of the room, but got a resting bitch face. Let's be real. I'm processing it all in my head before, so it comes out right, and I say the right things. That sometimes I probably look a bit scary and unapproachable, but I'm not like that at all. I just want to make a really good first impression, and I don't want to say anything wrong. I'm not being awkward. I'm not shy. I'm just prepping everything, getting ready to go.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, another assumption that people make is that introverts are shy. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so just because I'm an introvert, I'm not shy. As soon as I know someone, you can't shut me up. Find a topic we both have together, da 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 da, and it'll go on forever. I've met some of my best and closest business colleagues at networking events, and literally 10 years later, we're still working together, we're collaborating. So chat all the time. But funnily enough, some of them are introverts as well. We band together.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I had another question for you, and it's just escaped me. Oh, I know what it was. It's about introverts' superpowers. So in your chapter, you talk about the fact that you listen to what people are saying. And I really feel like that is a superpower. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so I think it's one of my, well, we call it a superpower, but it's the whole finding out about someone else and not talking just to fill space and feel like it's natural, because it's not. So I will ask those questions, like I said earlier, to find out more about them, but then I'll listen and I'll really, really take in what they're trying to say. And in my head, it's processing not just what they're saying. I'm trying to remember it and find something that I can chat about at the same time. And it just feels very easy that way. It feels so much more natural, and that's how I can get through it. And I meet some fantastic people, and it's not hard at the end, but it's just taking those first few steps that I find really daunting.
Yeah,
But it's actually really easy at the end.
Yeah, well, I love that you've shared these tips for anyone else out there who is feeling nervous around networking and building relationships, because you just make it look so easy. And like you said, you've made some incredible connections and people you've been collaborating with for years. So there's definitely so many benefits to getting out there, getting over that initial fear and just having those conversations. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always just look towards the end. It'll be worth it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Lauren. Thank you for sharing your chapter with us as well.
Thanks, Peace. Appreciate it.
Thank you to everybody who's tuned in today as well. Make sure you grab your copy of Purpose and Passion. You can find it at 𝑊CWpress.com. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.